Wilfred Owen was actually in the war himself. This poem reflects the atrocities that he had seen in the battle. On October 21st, 1915, he enlisted in the Artists Rifle Officers Training Corps. For the next 7 months, he trained at Hare Hall Camp in Essex. On June 4th, 1916, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Manchester Regiment. Much like Henry in the Red Badge of Courage, Owen started the war as a cheerful and optimistic man, but he soon changed forever. After two tragic events, Owen's views on the war completely changed. Firstly, he was blown high into the air by a trench mortar, landing among the remains of a fellow officer. Soon after, he became trapped for days in an old German dugout. After these two events, Owen was diagnosed with a severe case of shell shock, or PTSD. He then returned to battle in March 1918. In October 1918, Owen was shot in the head and died just 1 week before the end of the war. News of Owen's death came to his mom on November 4th, 1918, the day of the armistice. Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through the sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that dropped behind. Gas! Gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim, through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dream, you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his hanging face like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cut of vile, incurable stores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory, the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. Alright, now we're going to analyze this poem stanza by stanza. The first stanza is in third person. Owen and his men are running from the incoming gas shells. The men have trouble escaping, cursing through the sludge. Some men are tired and losing their boots, but they still use all their might to continue onward. The men are starting to get drunk with fatigue or tired. Their running serves no purpose as they cannot escape the incoming gas. 5-9s, or gas shells, have dropped behind them. The point of view changes. Instead of third person, the poem switches to first person. This is a first-hand account of Owen's experience. The gas comes out of the canisters. There is an ecstasy of fumbling as the men rush to put on their gas masks. Some were too late, as the gas filled their lungs. The soldiers' screams are heard and they are seen struggling in pain. One man is seen stumbling as if he were on fire or covered in lime. Not the citrus fruit, but a highly reactive chemical which eats the skin when it comes in contact with a human. The battlefield is soon filled with a green sea of gas. Owen sees men drowning in the metaphorical ocean of gas. This is a rather short section. The reader now knows that this was just a dream that haunts Owen every night. He constantly imagines his friends in front of him, choking, guttering, and drowning in the gas. The last section of the poem is Owen's way to directly talk to the reader. The stanza is used to discourage the reader from serving in the army. The memories of the war will always be with you. The sights and sounds of battle can never be forgotten. Owen thinks that the chance for physical agonies and emotional traumas caused by the war is enough to scare the reader, especially young readers, into not joining the war. The stanza ends with a Latin phrase from Horace's Ode, Dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. It is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. Owen thinks that this is an old lie. In Owen's mind, there's nothing glorious or honorable about death, or for that matter, war itself.